There is an invisible addiction quietly controlling millions of people, and most do not even realize it. It is not alcohol. It is not drugs. It is dopamine. Tiny hits of stimulation, tiny emotional rewards, tiny moments of escape. And modern life has weaponized them completely. Every scroll, every notification, every online purchase, every short-form video, every fast food delivery, every social media like, every flash sale. Every dopamine hit trains the brain to crave immediate rewards, which becomes dangerous financially, because wealth building is built on delayed gratification. And delayed gratification feels almost unnatural in today's world. Think about how quickly life moves now. People cannot wait 5 seconds for a video to load, cannot sit in silence, cannot eat without stimulation, cannot relax without reaching for a screen, cannot focus without checking notifications. Modern attention spans are collapsing, and collapsing attention spans create collapsing financial discipline. Because investing is slow, saving is slow, compounding is slow. But dopamine culture teaches people to expect immediate emotional rewards. Now compare that psychologically. A long-term investment portfolio grows quietly, almost invisibly. But buying something new? That creates instant emotional stimulation. Your brain feels it immediately. The excitement, the anticipation, the emotional escape. That is why emotional spending is exploding. People are no longer just buying products. They are buying temporary emotional relief. Relief from stress, relief from boredom, relief from loneliness, relief from insecurity. And companies know this. Entire industries are built around capturing human attention because attention became the most valuable resource on Earth. If a company controls your attention, it can influence your behavior. And if it influences your behavior, it can influence your spending. That is why algorithms are becoming more dangerous psychologically than most people realize. The goal is not simply entertainment. The goal is engagement, constant stimulation, constant emotional activation. Because emotionally activated people consume more. Notice what happens after people feel stressed. They shop, scroll, eat, spend, escape. Modern culture rarely teaches people how to sit with discomfort. Instead, it teaches endless distraction. And distraction is expensive. Not just financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. People are becoming overstimulated and underfulfilled at the exact same time. That combination creates a dangerous cycle. The brain keeps searching for stronger stimulation while life feels increasingly empty. So people consume more. But the relief never lasts, because dopamine fades quickly. That is why somebody can buy something they desperately wanted, then feel emotionally normal again within days. Humans adapt incredibly fast. And once adaptation happens, the brain starts chasing the next hit, the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next distraction, the next escape. This is how people accidentally spend years financially sabotaging themselves. Not through one catastrophic decision, but through thousands of tiny emotional decisions. Daily food delivery, impulse purchases, subscription overload, convenience spending, microtransactions, lifestyle upgrades, constant stimulation. And because each decision feels small individually, people rarely notice the long-term damage. Until suddenly they look at their finances and wonder, where is all my money going? But maybe the deeper question is this: where is all your attention going? Because attention controls behavior, and behavior controls financial outcomes. The scary part is that many people are losing the ability to focus long-term entirely, which makes long-term wealth building incredibly difficult. Patience feels uncomfortable now. Silence feels uncomfortable now. Stillness feels uncomfortable now. People are becoming addicted to stimulation itself, and addiction always demands more over time. Stronger stimulation, more entertainment, more spending, more distraction. But eventually something strange happens. People begin confusing stimulation with happiness, even though they are completely different things. Stimulation is temporary. Happiness is deeper. Stimulation excites the nervous system. Peace calms it. And many people have become so overstimulated, they no longer recognize peace when they experience it. Quiet feels boring. Simple feels empty. Patience feels slow. And financially, that mindset becomes extremely dangerous. Because people who constantly need stimulation often struggle to build wealth. They struggle to wait, struggle to stay consistent, struggle to delay gratification, which is exactly why modern financial discipline feels almost rebellious. Think about how strange it looks today to simply cook at home, read quietly, invest consistently, avoid impulse spending, ignore trends, live below your means, stay offline. That behavior now feels abnormal because the culture rewards consumption more than restraint. But restraint creates freedom, and freedom requires controlling impulses, not obeying every emotional craving immediately. That is why emotional regulation may secretly be one of the most valuable financial skills in the modern world. People think wealth is mostly about intelligence, but often it's about impulse control. The ability to pause, to think long-term, to tolerate temporary discomfort, to resist emotional spending, to avoid needing constant stimulation. And maybe that is why some people quietly become financially free while others stay trapped forever. One group learned how to master attention. The other lost control of it. Because where attention goes, money usually follows. Time follows. Energy follows. Life follows. And maybe the most dangerous part of all this is that overstimulation slowly disconnects people from themselves. People become reactive instead of intentional, distracted instead of focused, emotionally impulsive instead of deliberate. And once that happens, outside systems begin controlling internal behavior. That is incredibly profitable for corporations, but incredibly destructive for individuals, especially financially. Because financially free people usually think differently. They are less reactive, less impulsive, less emotionally manipulated by trends. They understand that every distraction has a cost. Every impulse has a cost. Every emotional purchase has a cost. And over time, those costs become entire futures. That is why awareness changes everything. The moment somebody becomes conscious of how their attention is being controlled, their financial behavior begins changing too. Now they pause before spending. Now they question emotional impulses, ISAs. Now they stop consuming automatically. Now they start thinking intentionally. And intentional people eventually separate themselves financially from reactive people. Because intentional living compounds, just like investing, slowly, quietly, over time. So maybe the real question is not, how do I make more money? Maybe the real question is, what is constantly controlling my attention? And what is it costing me? Because that answer could completely change your future. If you enjoyed this episode of the Financial Psychology series, subscribe to Smart Money Compounds. Because understanding money is important, but understanding the psychology manipulating your money That is where real freedom begins.